Thanks, Greg. So, can you hear me okay? Okay. Did you like the Dash video? Okay, it's Dash, or user conference, in June. So it was, please register. You can come and join, hear even more from product, from engineering, from everyone at Datadog. So I'm Yrieix Garnier. I'm a VP of product at Datadog. And what I do is actually listening to our customers, to your different needs, and making sure with engineers that we actually build the best product. That's what PM does. I've been in the industry for 25 years now, and a bit more than 4 years at Datadog. And through the conversation today, even meeting a lot of you, those today and in the past, I've really seen that government has some very specific needs. You have mission-critical systems, you have very strict security requirements, and we heard it multiple times today. You guys need to do more with less. And this is actually make it fairly unique from the rest of our customers. So what I'll do today, what I'll walk you through is kind of give you back what we hear from you, what I hear, my team is hearing about, hey, what are we making product to make sure that, hey, why do we need to support FedRAMP High? What does this mean running in those kind of environments? Why is IL5 important? And most important, I think I heard it in every conversation, is how can we bring AI to you in a safe way? So that's what we're going to go and talk about in this session. If I go back a few years ago, actually, Datadog made a very conscious decision to bet on the government. When we did this, we decided not really to take it like the least path of resistance, but we really genuinely believe that we wanted to give the government a very unified platform that you actually deserve for that community to bring observability and to support your different use cases. So what we did not go back and retrofitted some of our existing solutions, but we went and started from scratch. We built a whole solution for the government from scratch to make sure that you have access to the best and the greatest solutions. What we see, it means it's really in this GovCloud environment, we've already, and you see in the presentations, achieved FedRAMP High, but we're also staying committed in the long term because we've decided to make that investment. What it means also is along the way, we've seen different agencies, like federal, state, and local, starting to use Datadog, running real workload, real missions on Datadog. And that's why we kept being very focused, keep investing in that environment. And I'll share some of the milestones today about what we've achieved. I have only 12, I would say 13, 14 minutes left, so it's going to be pretty tight. But I'm going to share that to also show you that, hey, we're just kind of getting started. So when we look at what the governments actually can do today in Datadog, those are real use cases we've seen from different agencies. We see people actually keeping their mission-critical systems running. Because in Datadog, we do provide a full stack visibility, so your team can actually catch and fix problems before they actually become outage. This is really the ability for anyone who managing some modern or some legacy systems, and we also heard a number of you have both to go manage. That full stack visibility is actually super, super critical. We also help different agencies stay on ahead of different threads to not just respond to them, but be able to bring the security signal with the observability data together, so the security team and the ops team can actually look at the same informations, make sure that they have the same input to fix the issue ahead of time. And this is actually another problem I heard a lot from a lot of the different governments is you have more and more tool sprawls, you have more and more solutions. Be able to have the same solutions help you really close that gap of tool sprawl, but also break down the silos between the different teams. What we also see is and that's something actually we saw from the National Cancer Institute, you also want to make sure you can deliver services that the citizen actually go and depends on. Your mission is always about being end-to-end. It's understanding what's happening in the backend, all the way to what is displayed on the citizen or your end user screens. This is also what we help you with that visibility in Datadog by really giving you the full view, not just a piece of that visibility. And finally, we're going to talk about AI. I won't talk too much about that now because I have a specific section for it. But AI, what you need to understand is what you use today, built on top of Datadog, is going to be the same foundation that you'll be able to bring AI on top of. But I'll get into that in a minute. So I want also to ground that conversation with actual kind of data points, because I know you guys like numbers much more than like promises here. So USDA actually detected thread 85% faster. We're actually able to cut their mean time to detect backend server errors by 85%. This is really kind of incremental improvement. This is like really a step change that happened for those type of organizations. We had like 60% mean time to resolution reductions at the first services. It means that they can actually go and resolve incidents way faster and spare more time to focus on their missions and do less of like firefighting, make the joke on this one. The 99.98% of uptime at the Lawrence Berkeley National Labs, they were able to scale from 5,000 to 300,000 users without any impact. And usually when you see that kind of scale, some of the system breaks. With Datadog, they managed to pass through that very easily. And finally, the National Cancer Institute that we also heard about before, they managed to save over 25% of their software licensing cost by using cloud cost management. So when we talk about, hey, you want to do more with less, I know it's not just like a phrase around, but this is a real mandate in this room. And this is really what some of the use cases, some of your peers, other agencies have been doing with Datadog, and then you can actually build on top of us. So I want to talk about two things in the kind of looking more about the vision and where we really going ahead here. The two areas is, first one is how we expanding our authorizations, which the idea is like how we can reach more agencies, more missions, and actually more sensitive environment. The second part, I'm going to talk about the platform innovation and how we can bring more of Datadog so that we can actually have that inside GovCloud. So let's start with the authorization expansion. And for this one, I want to take a kind of a moment to walk through the journey we went through, because that journey is actually pretty important. In 2023, we were already FedRAMP moderate. At that time, we actually committed to deliver FedRAMP High and IL5. And this commitment was really more than a roadmap item. That was something we were going to go and deliver to you. In 2025, we actually were FedRAMP High in process, which actually we were really working at that time pretty deep. We were changing all our different systems to be able to ensure that we'll be able to go and deliver FedRAMP High. So today, I'm actually pretty excited to announce that we have reached that FedRAMP High ATO. Thank you. So that means now, like, agencies can start to run the sensitive, high-impact workload on Datadog, and that's aligned with the high requirements. The good thing about Datadog, and I told you we're here for the long term, we are continuing that investment. What we're doing now, we're actually actively working on IL5 to support the both defense and mission-critical environment. And this environment, we have those very unique requirements. We're actually addressing all those requirements head-on. So this is in progress. So what's important to that journey, this is not just kind of a commercial product that we adapted for the government. We actually rebuild the platform and evolve it specifically for GovCloud. And we're making that investment, as I talked about, here for the long term. So that's really our journey we're into and how we're going to get more authorization in the future. Now, I'm going to talk about the platform innovation. And this is what we're going to bring into Datadog, into GovCloud, for you guys to be able to use. So that slide is actually 15 years of innovation at Datadog. If you look at it, we started with like infra monitoring, and then we added on top of it. We added APM, logs, security, digital experience, and now we actually have AI. The most important, it's all one product, one platform. And the consistency, that really matters for the government because it allows all your different teams not to have to jump between tools. It allows to make sure that the data isn't siloed, and you have really the complete pictures about everything which is happening inside your environment. But if you want to think about that slide and looking at it, oh wow, Datadog is actually innovating really, really quick. What I want to make sure you understand is we also committed to bring all that innovation inside GovCloud. And when I say we want to bring that parity between our commercial and our Gov environment, I really mean real parity, which means something that we'll do as fast as we can, be very efficient, and really bring that in a pragmatic way. Because we know that what we deliver here is really important for you, and we want to make sure we do it with the right requirements for the Gov environment. So the idea is like we don't want you to wait for like a long time after the commercial release is done, and we're going to be and get that to you as fast as we can through the different authorizations. And that's really the gap that we want to close, and we're really committing to keep that gap as close as we can. The other things which is also coming up a lot is AI. And AI is a big part of our innovation today. What I've been also hearing about in a lot of the conversations, even more like today, the idea is like when you bring AI, we need to bring it to you the right way, which means it has to be secured and it has to be controlled. When we do this, what we're doing actually is specifically for the government, we're building what you can see here big on the screen, this kind of AI gateway. The AI gateway is going to give you the granular flexibility to be able to go and to adopt Gen AI within Datadog. It means you'll be able to go and select which provider you want to use. Within that provider, what model do you want to use? And then we're also going to be able to always give you the right security, the compliance, and the data handling which going behind this. So that gateway will really be that gateway for you to access all the AI features under Datadog. And those features, there's a number of them. That slide has actually been simplified because we have a lot of AI features that will be accessible. If I look at it, we're doing like three main things. We're doing what we call AI in Datadog. And this is, you may have heard the term Bits AI. This is kind of a branding we're using around AI. It's really about helping your SRE doing investigation faster, being able to support the developer team into creating PRs, being able to assist troubleshooting and remediations, and really making sure that all the teams can do more with less, which I think is one of the key motto for that conversation here. The second aspect, the one in the middle, is how we get visibility inside the AI systems. When you start to have LLM-powered applications go into production, you want to make sure that you support them and you observe them like any of your other applications. So this is what we're actually giving you here, and we have multiple ways to give you that. The first one is actually through LLM observability. We'll be able to understand your model performance. What we get there, you get visibility into the full prompt lifecycle at inference to be able to improve the performance of the model themselves. LLM observability also gives you the monitoring and cost of performance of the model themselves. So you can see which is the best model and the best providers compared to your different requirements. And finally, it also allows you to evaluate quality and safety, so it can go help detect PI leak or prompt injections that could come within the different prompt and response, and that we can evaluate with our out-of-the-box rules. This is what we do with LLM Ops. And then the last part here on the right-hand side for you is actually our governance and security. we have also solution with AI Guard and AI Security Analyst that will really give you the control of how AI is used across your organizations. Being able to understand what are the right policy, get some oversight, and build it protections to align with the kind of public sector requirement here. So this is really how we get across operations, visibility, and governance, and how with the AI Gateway, you'll be able to access all the different AI features within Datadog. So now if I take a step back and show you a bit more of the long-term vision here. So Datadog, we are on that journey. We started actually with what you see on the left-hand side, which is like starting with, I would say, more like reactive monitoring, but we've already, for quite some long time, being actually very proactive observability, being able to really help you understand the whole upside to your systems. But where we're going is toward that AI autonomous operations. Being able to really understand that what's happening inside your systems, react and use AI to be really proactive and be autonomous into that system. This story, which is our vision, is not just Datadog visions. Because I know when I heard it, again, from a number of you, this is exactly the same one that you have inside the government. So we're bringing that to you, and we're actually building this also specifically for the government here. So what we really offer is the fact that the platform you're using today, as it's going to evolve through that journey, you will not have to change anything. You will still using the same platform, and that platform will go all the way to that kind of autonomous operations. And again, this is not just about stitching different tools together. This is not about like retrofitting some solution. This is from the investment we made years ago, custom built for the government. So the authorization work that we've been doing, or the platform work we do, is what's going to feed into that journey and making sure that, hey, this is something we build, and we really all in on that with you guys. So the last slide, and I'm over time, which I knew I would be over time. So the last slide to conclude, if we have three things you have to remember for that conversation. The first one is you can run your most sensitive workload on Datadog. FedRAMP High is available. IL5 is coming next. And whatever you can't use today, we're going to go and support it very, very soon in the future. You don't need multiple tools to get a unified visibility. With Datadog, Observability, Log, Security, and AI, you have one platform, one data model, one team that can really see everything. And finally, when you're ready for AI, we'll be ready for you. We have the right control, right auditability, the right governance, and anything that your governments demand, and anything that the requirements will be set at the time will be ready for you guys. So that's Datadog for governance. This is where we committed to this community here today, and we really committed for the long term. Thank you. That was a quick overview. Thank you. You can.